Right, so I work with various investors in the Middle East in terms of sourcing investments for them, understanding their investment strategies and what they want to achieve with their investments in terms of whether that's capital preservation or making a return on their cash, and ensuring its tax mitigation structures, which is no doubt a very important elements to actually make the real estate investment viable going forward. So this is something that we do day in, day out in terms of being unique and actually making it tailored to each investor's profile of what they want. And this is the way forward instead of the usual investment firm, whereas they just want them to invest into certain products and or for the sake of sales and just getting a conversion. Our model is we find the perfect investment that suits the investor's profile and then go and get it secured, get it managed properly in order to get the best return, and then according to what the investor wants, whether it's 3 years or 5 years, we'll hold it for that long and then realise as much as returns as possible and then eventually get it sold. So it's a very straightforward model that we work on, and that's one aspect of it. Right, so with this property market at the moment is only worthwhile if we're in that cycle where build costs are just not working for new builds at the minute. So which is why it's changing now to a different cycle of going into partial distressed, partial built developments, distressed opportunities in terms of buying and selling, value added opportunities, planning opportunities, land sites subject to planning. That's the only way forward at the moment with the cycle. And as and when the cycle changes in terms of developments, the only developments that's practical is the conversion costs at the minute. So if you do the conversions, then you can make it stack up. But the new builds are just not practical in terms of build costs. It's actually more than the capital values of most of the projects. However, if it's central London, then that's a different kettle of fish. So whereas it's a cyclical game in terms of every aspect of the real estate game. So we're seeing a lot of opportunities come through at the moment with the conversions aspects, and central London will probably definitely work in new builds. So yeah, I mean, things change as we go along, and we can't stick with the same thing in order to make money and to keep doing the deals. So many opportunities coming through at the minute. We're finishing off obviously this new build site, and distressed opportunities have all been coming through, which we're looking at the minute, working with various investors in terms of monitoring existing net yield incomes. So every single opportunity that looks ideal to go, we'll go and have a look, see the actual values, run a financial model, make sure that it is achieving the net yield that's going to be attractive, and is there value added opportunities that we can add to the deal in order to make it work and viable, make it attractive. But not only that, the structuring in terms of with all these tax changes that are like the up and coming, is can we make it work? So a number of things really to bear in mind. It's not all about straightforward property deals and you can make this return unless you're buying it for yourself and you have an optimistic mindset. This is another conversation that I was having with somebody before, is during this time at the minute is, yes, there is a lot of negativity in terms of tax. The government are talking about tax, media keeps banging on about it, tax, all these things that are going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months with Labour coming in charge. But the reality is, every time there is negative downturn with the market, that's where opportunities come in. That's where you can start finding more deals. That's where more landlords are going to be selling. That's where more vendors are going to be selling. Interest rates are higher at the moment, 5.25% have dropped down to 5%. It's still not viable for many people to be buying in that market. So really, instead of worrying about all the tax and worrying about how we're going to manage tax payments, unless it comes to a position of unrealised capital gains tax, which is whereas you've not sold the property but you have to still pay tax just because you made profit on paper without actually realising it. At the moment, we're not in that position, and they're not discussing that position. So we need to be taking advantage of this market by actually buying these properties now as much as we can, getting the finance in place, whether that's buying it on a bridge or buying it with more cash and then refinancing it after 6 months, and get them all rented out and get things bought and start sourcing more deals. So there's no time like the present to actually be buying residentials, to be buying commercials. The key thing is to be getting it in good areas. It's not going to be coming up outside of city centres, at town centres, which has got absolutely no growth prospect whatsoever. We need to be buying in city centres, good town centres that have got good public transport connections, and there's no reason for it to go down except only stay moderately reasonable or still have some sort of growth prospects. If it's in city centres, then even better. So this is the way to be looking at the minutes, instead of joining in with this 99% of this negativity, general feelings, and this negativity. Landlords are talking about capital gains tax, and this is all in the eventual scenario of selling. But what if it was always kept in terms of a property company, and the properties were never sold and always kept throughout? So there's different ways of looking at this, and it's all about mindset of how you're going to be treating these investments. Is it a long-term thing? Is it something to build your portfolio with? There's hundreds of different ways of making this work for you. Again, back to the mindset of doing it, and doing it the right way, that you don't suffer in the future. So that's my thought for the day at the moment. And as always, you can always get in touch if you've got different opinions or different thoughts. Okay, best of luck guys. Bye bye.